on.
Are they?
Yes, I didn't think that was going to happen so quick.
Well, that's what happened with Jeffrey.
As soon as I was like, whoa.
That's what happened with Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Liisa, and I'm very thank you very much, but she lives here in New York. And we're on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and she will also be doing some readings. So we'll go through your questions and what happened. This is why it's live. Thank you for being here.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So how did this gift start for you?
I didn't actually know what was going on. I thought that it was very normal to see dead people, and I thought that having dreams that come true or seeing auras was just what everyone experienced. And in saying that, I thought it was my imagination.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I was in my early 20s and had started meditating and doing a lot of spiritual awareness practices in my life, and a medium. And really from, my friends and doing spiritual courses that I understood how extensive this ability is for me.
So how did you, when you talk to spirit and you're having dreams, how did you know that this was, okay, this is a spirit, this is a psychic, this is a loved one, as opposed to just a voice in your head? And when you would have these dreams, how did these dreams actually happen? Did they come true, what you were dreaming? Is that, like a premonition?
So the first part of your question, how did I know it was a spirit and not just a voice? In the beginning, I didn't.
Okay.
I literally just thought I was talking to myself.
Okay.
And then when I started paying attention and they started saying things that actually made sense, I realized, hang on a minute, there's no way I could have known that. There's no way that I would have known that that bus stop is more convenient than that bus stop, because I didn't even know there was a bus stop there.
Okay.
So now I know why they kept telling me to turn around the corner. Just basic stuff, that you don't think is that interesting, because unfortunately our lives are not that interesting. So a lot of the psychic stuff that comes through isn't that profound. But what I did find was the more I listened to it and the more I paid attention, the stronger it got, and the more I understood that that was spirit. So when I hear a spirit, sometimes I will hear it in a different voice. They will always have a different way of speaking. So they'll use different words to what I use. They'll use a different intonation. And the type of things they talk about are not generally the type of things that would be part of my regular train of thought. It comes out of the blue. It comes from somewhere else. And it's never really what you expect.
So what do they sound like?
I hear them,
does it sound like you and me talking?
It's a human voice.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. And what's interesting is if I'm connecting to a spirit that's crossed over, I hear their voice as their voice was in life. So if it's a man that had a very deep voice and he starts speaking, then I'll say to the person I'm reading for, if I'm doing a reading, wow, I'm hearing a man with a really, really deep voice. And as I tune in, I start to get an image of him. I start to get a sense of him. I start to see him standing next to me. I feel that he had facial hair, brown hair. He's coughing. Okay, so it looks like he was a smoker, and off we go.
That's just fascinating. Now, when we pass over, so we obviously don't have our shell with us. We have our...
Right.
So do we sound different when we get over there, and then when we come through to a medium to speak to our loved ones, then we sound like ourselves? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't necessarily sound different. So the way I see it, or what I believe, is that when you cross over, obviously your physical body is no longer needed, so that gets returned to Earth and recycled on the idea of chemistry that nothing's created or destroyed, it's only rearranged.
Right.
So your body goes back into carbon and into the Earth, or however you decide to be, transitioned. And your spirit carries on, and your spirit carries on living in a different frequency, in a different vibration. So that vibration and that frequency is what mediums tune into. So when you're in the spirit world and you are of that frequency, when the medium next to you. The medium is raising their vibration to that frequency, and the spirit is lowering their vibration so they can meet somewhere in the middle and have a connection. And it's at that point that the information gets transferred, that the medium starts to hear them as they were when they were alive, that we start to see them as they were. Sometimes they will shift and they will give us a glimpse of how they were and how they are. And that's always very fun, because what you see is you'll see how they were perhaps when they passed, and then you'll see how they want to be remembered. And often when they passed, they might have been 95 years old with, very sore back and problems with their skin, but that might have just been for a week of their life. And then for the majority of their life, or in their heyday, they were a 45-year-old entrepreneur down on Madison Avenue, like living the dream and dressed all nicely, and then they give you glimpses of that, and that may be how they live in the spirit world and how they want to be remembered. And so then they'll show me that image as well.
So when we pass over, what are we like in the spirit world? Are we in heaven? Are we in the universe? Where
is the spirit
world?
Where
is the spirit world? Because I don't know about you guys, but I want to know where I am, what happens. I mean, I'm scared to die. I mean, because you don't know what's going to happen. So what is it like there? I mean, what do you see? What do they tell you? When loved ones die, like, where do they go?
So being scared to die is very normal, and that's what keeps us alive. That's our ego. So that's a very good thing. I don't really think that anyone should be looking forward to dying, because we're here to have an experience, and so you need to be all about this life. For various reasons, people have different paths, and that leads them to have different beliefs. But I believe that you should really make the most of the life you have while you have it. Some people say the spirit world is sort of often up, and what I've noticed is whenever the collective group of mediums and spiritualists talk about the spirit world, we always say up here. So, and we don't know why we say it, and we've kind of laughed about it. Like, what is up here? Is this the concept of heaven and hell? We don't really know. And I guess we will find out when we pass physically where it is. I do believe it's up, because I always feel the vibration sort of up and around this way. So I can only talk from my experience. And it's a frequency. So similar to how radio waves and microwaves exist, but we can't see them, the spirit world exists all around us and we can't see it. So you could say that spirits are balls of energy, balls of light, and that they rearrange to connect and show us images and projections, which helps us recognize them from the physical world.
Now, if we want to connect ourselves with spirit and our loved ones, how, like for me, like I don't know my gut very well. I just don't. I don't know if anybody else has that. How do you tell people or help people to get this gift so they can enhance it for themselves?
Great question. I believe everyone is very intuitive and everyone's psychic. It's a matter of whether or not you listen to it. And so we are naturally animals. We have that intuition. That's how we stayed alive for so many thousands of years. And in order to connect to it, you really just have to trust it when it comes through. First, you have to find that voice or that feeling, that, that gut feeling, whatever it is for you. And then once you find it, hone it and listen to it. So in terms of embracing your intuition, that would be the fastest way. Just trusting that when you get an inkling of a feeling, that's actually something to listen to. In terms of connecting to your loved ones, I mean, a lot of people have said to me, oh, I saw my grandma a week after she passed. Was that real? But I'm not a medium. And I say, yeah, that was real. And that doesn't mean you're going to see spirits every day all the time, but you've had a spiritual experience. And so from there, it's possible that they could hone that to a certain degree. I don't feel everyone's had spiritual experiences and everyone has the ability to be a medium, but we all have an intuition. So if you feel that you have no mediumistic abilities, that you don't know anything about spirit, but you really truly want to connect, you can set the intention. Okay, so perhaps you'll write before you go to sleep, dear Uncle Joe, please come and visit me in my dream. I would love to reconnect with you. And then you go to sleep. And you can do that every day for a week or 2 weeks, and you'll start to get signs, you'll start to get images, you'll start to get impressions. And then when you wake up, write them down, everything that you receive. Okay. Because I believe it's very easy for spirits to connect to us while we're sleeping and while we're dreaming.
Right.
Okay.
With dream states and stuff, what is a lot of people talk about 3D and a lot of people talk about 5D.
Okay.
So supposedly 3D, for those who don't know, is here, and 5D is our spirit in a higher level. Am I explaining that kind of right?
Sure, I just describe it as a different concept of time and space.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when people talk about like blueprints and they talk about soulmates and twin flames and you're always connected to that person on 5D, but you're not always connected here, how does that all work? Like, it kind of confuses me, the 3D, the 5D, but these things are happening here, but these things are happening here.
My understanding is that your experience will be what you conceptualize. So if your reality exists in the 3D world and that's all you know, then that's all you can comprehend. But if you start to tune into different vibrations and different ideas, regardless of what you want to call it, 4D, 5D, whatever it is, you'll start to notice things.
Okay.
So if you start to look out for number patterns, you'll start to notice number patterns, and some people use it for divination. If you start to put it out there that perhaps some friendships are meant to be their soulmates, there's lessons in there, you'll start to notice patterns and you'll start to have experiences where they become more meaningful to you. So you could sort of say that life, and I hesitate to say this because some people might get upset, but I feel that life doesn't have a meaning unless you assign meaning to it. It's the idea that things could have meaning, very simple and straightforward, which is fine.
So what do you feel like on the law of attraction? Like when people say, if you ask, it is given. I have a lot of mixed feelings on that because I believe in free will, and I don't think, as much as you want something, you can't mess with someone's free will. But I also believe that if something's meant to be, it's going to happen.
Yes.
So whether, basically if it's a medium telling you or, God's coming to you and saying, no, this is what's going to happen. But what is your feeling on the law of attraction and all of the ask and it is given kind of whole theory? Because that's pretty big.
It is. It's a hot topic right now, and it has worked for me. I have put vibrations out there and set intentions and had some really cool experiences. I believe that's part of the magic that involved me immigrating and coming to America and all that kind of stuff. So over the past 10 years, that's been a really big part of my journey, and I still use it today when I need to turn up the volume on different areas of my life. So I've experienced it to be real. However, I feel that if you want to use the law of attraction to bring things to you, you need to adjust your belief system. So you need to believe that it's possible. If you truly, without a shadow of a doubt, believed that you could jump up in the air and stay there for 3 minutes,
we're not doing that, but
the concept says that it will happen. So if you truly, truly believed that was real, and we all believed it was real, and everyone believed it was real, then the idea is that that can happen. So there's a huge aspect of trusting and believing involved in manifesting. Now, having free will is a massive part of that, because if you say, I want it, but I just don't know if I believe it, the chance of it happening is much, much lower. It can still happen, but again, you need to set the intention. So then the second part of your question, what's meant to be and what's free will, I believe that we come into this life with a soul contract. And that is something that we have determined while we're in the spirit world, while we're sitting down with our guides. I understand that we have a meeting with them, and they say, all right, you're going, it's like we're sending you on a mission.
Well, do they know the job you're going to have, how many kids you're going to have, what guy you're, now, okay, so I get a little confused with
financial gains and losses, diseases, illnesses.
Really?
All of these experiences are predetermined based on what is relevant for what you've chosen to experience. Now, I feel like you're going to ask me, are we in control of that?
Well, yeah, because because there's just so much with that. Because, for me, how can a medium or psychic say you're going to marry this person or you're going to marry that person or you're definitely going to win you're going to become a famous actress and you're going to win an Academy Award, and then it doesn't happen.
Right.
But or God forbid, and I hate to bring this up, and when people commit suicide, we've had a lot of celebrity suicides. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Right.
It's are they they plan that. Like, those are things that I don't understand
Mhm.
when people talk about we have this stuff in our contract and we've already predestined it. I don't understand that.
So we do have free will, and we can change the contract to a degree.
Okay.
Is what I understand.
Okay.
Are suicides part of that? Yes, I believe they are. I believe that some people plan to come in for a period of time and then they plan to leave at a certain time. And I know that there are many stories out there of people that have thrown themselves off buildings and mountains and been in terrible car accidents and got up and walked off and go, oh, gee, I don't know how I got out of that alive.
Yeah.
Or, you know, someone that tripped and fell and hit their head and died. You know, they just tripped over their own feet and died. And it's very strange when you think about the spiritual aspect of that, of what is meant to be and what's not meant to be. And I do believe there is a time at which the window or the veil will open for you to cross, and that it's not a set date. It's not like an alarm goes off and death comes to say, hello, let's go. Or, you know, if you watch Hollywood, something a little more morbid. But I do believe that there is a set period in which we're meant to be here, and then when we're meant to let go and cross over.
So what do you tell people when they get a reading by you, when you tell them a whole bunch of stuff and then they got a reading with another medium that said a whole bunch of different things? Like, how is someone supposed to, you know, deal with that? Because the main reason that I started this show was because when I lived in LA for 10 years, there was a place that I'm not going to say the name, but I went a lot to get readings, and they were a bunch of gypsies, you know. And I don't mean that in a rude or disrespectful way, but you got to be careful when you get a reading. And I kept believing and nothing was happening. And finally I met this woman and she's like, why are you coming in here? Stop. And
it's fun, isn't it?
And she actually was the real deal. And she
Right.
actually, her name was Ellen, and she actually passed away, I think about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we stayed in touch when I moved here. And she was just like, you don't need to constantly be getting readings. And I know people who get them like every month. And I think that you only need them once or twice a year. If
That's what I tell people. Once or twice a year. Please don't contact me more than that, because you got to have your own life, you know.
Right.
If you're really busy, a lot's going on, we can talk. But once or twice a year is really all you need.
And how do you tell if different mediums are telling you different things? Like, who do you believe? Like, if you're dying to know something or want something.
Oh yeah.
And someone's saying, well, no, that's not going to happen. Well, so and so said it is going to happen. So then is that where, like, you just have to believe and hope what you really want comes true?
There is a huge aspect of interpretation. So we might all be standing around this mug, and one person goes, because they see it from this angle, they go, oh, that's a mug. And then someone sees it from the other angle with no handle and they go, oh, it's a vase. And then you see it from the top and you go, oh, there's a pool of water. We're all seeing the same thing, but we're all describing it differently based on our life experience, what we've seen, based on our perspective, and then based on our ability to communicate. So it's very likely that if you go to 3 different mediums, they can describe, or psychic mediums, psychics, they'll describe the same event in 3 different ways, often to the point where it will feel like it's 3 different events.
Okay.
And it might feel every time that it's a really, really big deal, but that event may literally just be something that happens on a Saturday afternoon as you're walking out of the house. And they might blow it up into a really big deal because 2 other people, or you blow it up into a big deal because 2 other people have said the same thing. But it's literally just something spiritual that is coming up as like a marker in your journey to let you know you're on the right path.
Now, how do our past lives affect like this life? So we have this big blueprint. So if we did something wrong in our past life and we're having certain issues in this life, is that from the past life? Is that karmic stuff from the past life? Or if you didn't get this one job in a past life, but you come back and you say, well, I want to redo that again. Is that kind of how that works?
It can.
Okay.
I, again, believe that everything exists right now. So past lives are technically parallel lives.
Okay.
That you can access at any time. I also don't believe in the idea that there's right and wrong, and this really upsets a lot of people, but I always will say it. Everything we do, in the moment we do it, we believe it to be the right thing.
Right.
Whether it's something that other people are reel back in horror at, or whether it's something that other people support, we always believe it's the right thing. So, you know, perhaps we choose to do something in a past or parallel life that's not necessarily great. It doesn't have a lot of positive ramifications. And because of that, we then are put in a position in the next life where we choose to experience a lesson of compassion to balance it out. I believe that to be true, definitely. That there's definitely an effect on what you've experienced, what you've put out there, and then what you'll experience next in order to learn every facet of life.
Yeah, because I still get really confused with the blueprints, and I talk about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I get confused with it because people say, you know, you've planned everything, and then people say, well, it can change, it can come out of your blueprints. So I was always told no, and I just get really confused by it. But
I feel it's something that, so I've seen, just, you know, to talk about the other part of your question, I've seen people with health ailments that relate to past lives. I've seen people where their given name at birth relates to their past life. I've seen situations where different scars or body markings relate to a past life.
really,
I've had a regression with someone who was a soulmate in this life, that I did a regression 5 years prior, and then he did a regression at the same time, I don't know, I guess 5 years later, and we had seen each other in that past life. We both described the same regression.
really,
But neither of us had spoken about it.
that's
And he's
fascinating.
like, oh yeah, you were there and you were doing this, and it was in this rainforest environment. I'm like, that's the regression I had 5 years ago. So it was very strange. There's no way he could have known. And so because of experiences like that, I believe it to be true, that we've both had that experience in another life where we've connected on that level. And, you know, and that is part of having these ongoing lessons and ongoing journeys where you try to evolve as much as you can between each life.
I don't know if we have, seems like we have a lot of people watching, asking questions. I don't know if spirits like, you know, let me through.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a few people in the room, so I don't know if you're picking up anything there or if you're picking up any
Father figure who's crossed over.
for someone watching.
And I feel that it's, and I say father figure because it might not have been a biological father, it might have been someone that was fatherly towards you. And I feel like I've got all my hair, and I feel like I've got facial hair at some point in my life, not always, but at some point, and that I may have had a sudden passing. Oh, that's something that you understand, but
I think I understand him. Yeah.
Okay. I also get the number 43 with that as well.
Okay.
So we can check with that person
Yeah.
later. It's just as we walked in, I kept feeling that guy
Okay.
on my shoulder
Then,
being like,
yeah, that's the yeah.
Is that for someone we spoke to?
Yeah.
I
think
okay, so he's followed me in. All right, I have to wait. Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe we can read for someone who's watching. If you wanted to just say hi. Oh, there's a lot. Okay. Do you want to pick one? Just pick one and read it, and then I'll leave it up to you.
Let's see,
So it's not
Tamara
biased.
says, is my mother watching over me? Is my nephew with her?
Okay. Hi, Tamara. Thanks for watching. Is your mother watching over you? Yes. Tamara, if you're still there and you're able to answer me, you can participate. Otherwise, I'll just talk about what I'm feeling with your mother. I do feel that as I connect to her energy that she had a lot of trouble speaking before she passed. I do feel that it's almost like my tongue's tied and I can't really get the words out. I do also see an image of a woman who's got her hair kind of up and white. And so I feel that she wore it quite short and it's like greying and white together. I'm being shown that she's in bed a lot, so I do feel that she passed of medical issues. And I feel like she's saying hello, but there's flowers around her. And it's lavender and a small blue flower that I don't actually recognise. It almost looks like a little pansy or a violet or something. Just in case that means something to you. I'm being shown that she's being very near because there was a birthday celebrated recently and that she was not able to say goodbye in the way she wanted to. So she might not have been able to say goodbye because of the issue with her tongue, or it may have been because you didn't see her, but she's telling me that she didn't get the chance to say goodbye and that she loves you very, very much and that she wants to say hello, particularly today, because of this birthday or recent anniversary that's happened that she wasn't there for physically, but she was there for in spirit. Okay. A lot of love for you and the children.
Do we also have questions on the Instagram? They're can you scroll up?
Is there a Doug as well? Is there like a Doug or a...
Is there a, can we scroll down on the Facebook one and see if there's a Doug? Would that be watching or is that someone?
I just keep hearing the name Doug and I wonder if that relates to someone. It's kind of hard because people are jumping in and out of the chat, so their spirits are coming and going. Jane, is my husband around me? Oh, June. June. Is my husband around me? That's when you get these overwhelming emotional experiences where you just kind of remember him and you feel like you want to cry and then you feel okay. So I do feel that he pulls back a lot to try and give you space to heal. But I feel that overall he is coming to you and he's saying your name. So you may saying your name and you're not making it up. He also shows me a bunch of red roses that can indicate or signify that there's been a significant date that's coming up, and I feel like it's between you two, and it might be
the sound. People are saying the sound is going off.
Ah, okay. You might have to watch this on replay, but I don't want to lose the connection too quickly. Just to let you know that he is around and he wants to acknowledge the love he has for you, and he knows that you felt unwell. And he knows that you felt worried, and he says it's not going to be a big issue. There's something about worrying about losing a house or losing something with a lot of money, and he says, don't worry, we will get through this. So I hope that means something to you. I'll leave that with you. Okay.
You can just scroll all the way down and see what the first person said if that helps.
When will the youngest daughter of 25 be married? Oh, Deborah! It is Deborah, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just have to make sure I'm reading it correctly. When a lot of moms come to me and they ask this question, they say, what should I do about my 30-year-old unmarried daughter? And, you know, as someone who's single myself, I kind of just look at them and go, nothing.
I'm a lot older than 30.
But no, let's be honest. When will your 25-year-old daughter be married? She's not married right now, but I feel that she's with someone. And you might have to think about this. I do feel that there's a significant boyfriend around her, but I feel like you don't want to push her into it because she's still very impressionable and she's still got a lot to learn emotionally. I feel she's going to grow a lot more in this life. I do see her being married by the time she's in her, so she could get married before this, but I see her married around 32. Don't freak out because, as I said, she's married by that age and she could get married before then. It may not be him, and I want you to be open to the idea that Spirit is going to pair her up with the best match, the most suitable match, someone that she can learn from and someone to be herself around. She has been with people in the past that she cannot be herself around, and it's important for you to be patient to allow her to have the best experience because I know that's what you want for her as well. So don't be too much in a rush to marry her off because it's more important that she's with the right person rather than just with the next available person. Okay, so I'll leave that with you.
So on Instagram we have Joanna 1286 wanting to know if there's a reading.
Her or him. Oh, we don't even know. How fun. Okay, Johanna 1286. Let me see. I actually feel with this person, and I'm not going to butcher your name too much, so I'm going to call you this person, that you're trying to move forward with something financially, particularly a job situation, and the money's just not coming in. And it may be that you're looking for a job, or it may be that you're looking for a promotion, but I feel all this frustration of I'm just not there yet. You have totally outgrown whatever position you are in or were doing, and you need to be moving on. You need to be moving forward and you need to be leaving that behind you. it's going to have to come from you. I don't necessarily feel that this opportunity is going to be created for you. You will need to create it and move forward. I keep hearing the word leave, so I want to tell you you'll need to leave. And if you've already left, find a group of people that you resonate with more than the position you're going after. So look for the position you want, but I feel that it's more important that you're around a group of people that resonate with you than part of a particular job with a title, because I feel like this is a spiritual shift, not necessarily a career shift, and that you are not the person you were 3 years ago, and because of that, this new job needs to reflect who you are now, and that you'll do very well around these people. I feel like it's a young environment, an entrepreneurial environment, a commission element, possibly a sales role, something where there'll be a lot of flexibility and freedom for you to thrive in that new job. Okay,
Great.
so I'll leave that with you.
And Italian Grandmama on Instagram is also wanting to know if there's a reading for her.
Italian grandmama.
Grandmama.
Okay. All right, let's have a look. Oh, I keep wanting to do this.
Okay.
So it could be that either Italian grandmama is having stomach issues or someone's about to get pregnant. I want you to...
It's not her getting pregnant.
It's not her getting
No.
pregnant, so she is a grandmama.
She
It
is.
could be someone in her family getting pregnant who's a female, just in case that makes a difference. I feel like I need to say there's a female that could be getting pregnant, but she's not eating right either. So you might know this person. Please be a bit more careful with your diet, because spirit needs you around as long as possible. And I don't predict death, so I'm not saying anything morbid like that, don't worry. But I just feel like you could eat a bit better. And I feel like that's coming up because you are aware of this and spirit's just giving you a gentle reminder. I am being shown that there's a lot more money coming into the family, but I feel like there's baby. I feel like I need to talk about a baby boy, and it might not be today, but it's coming. And just, it's something to get excited about. It's something to look forward to. There's a holiday for you in the new year, and I say holiday, I mean vacation. And it feels like it's around January, February. And I just feel like you need to be prepared for all this fun, and that you're not realizing how much there is to look forward to right now.
Yeah, let's touch more on the baby that's coming into the family, because it's not me.
Is there a sister-in-law perhaps, if it's not you?
Well, my niece is getting married in September.
Okay.
I mean, if it's me, then
I'm not allowed to say on air if it's you, because
you
we
can
have
tell
that,
me later.
we have that disclaimer or agreement. Yeah, no, I would put my money on the niece, because I do feel it's a younger woman, and I feel like it's something coming, and I feel like we're excited, and there's a great relationship there. It feels like they're married, and it feels like no one in the family's not no one's paying attention, but people aren't paying as much attention as they should to this young couple, this beautiful couple with all this energy. They're just kind of being like absorbed into the family's routine, and I do feel that they're going to do great things. So yeah, keep an eye out.
What other questions do we have? Do any of you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Rachel.
Oh yeah, I get to be called on.
Yeah.
Do you have anything for me? There's been a lot going on in my family.
Yeah. Are you okay for me to be honest and say everything, and I won't use names or give like revealing information, but just to say everything that's coming through?
Sure.
Okay. Overall, the strongest message from Spirit for you is that you just need more love, and you need a big hug and a lot of support. So I want you to be selective with who you spend your time with, and make sure that they're giving you the support and the love that you need. You're not meant to be here to be a slave or a workhorse for the people around you. You're meant to be as comfortable as possible in this life. And I do feel that you've been taking on situations that you want to help with because it's the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily in your best interest. Do you understand this? Okay, so you feel this energy that I'm describing here. I do feel you're meant to be a mother in this life, but not to all these people around you. You're meant to be a mother to your own children, and I do feel that you will give birth biologically to your children. These are not adoptive children or children that are kind of, nieces and nephews that are assumed into your life. And I do feel that you need to take a break and honestly just go hide in the forest for a week. Just be away from everyone. Because the family that's going on around you is not your responsibility to be in charge of. And I do feel that you've taken on that responsibility unnecessarily. Can I leave that with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you want to clarify anything on that? It will be easier next year.
Will it?
Yeah.
Was that more in a...
Particularly with a male who might be going through some sort of emotional struggle or addiction at the moment. It will get easier next year for his situation, but I'm hearing you are not to be his mother and you are not to step in and try and take control of that. He has his own journey to experience and his own life to live. And you're not going to be in trouble for not helping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lastly, who is really obsessed with donuts in this room? Who's like really into sweets and donuts?
Is that you?
I like sweet things.
Okay, I'm turning to you and I get this massive image of a donut with like the pink icing and the sprinkles, and I'm like, someone here is low on sugar right now and is really craving these sweet things. So is that what's going on? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll take a break soon, but yeah, that's funny. Thanks for helping me place that.
Do we have other questions on, it's because the Facebook's not scrolling, so I can't see.
Oh, maybe they come in at the top. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then if we have Instagram too, thanks CB.
Okay.
What about-
Princess Maria 3384
Okay.
from Instagram. Any message?
Is there anything in particular she wants me to focus on? I feel like she's got a lot going on.
Princess, did you hear that? Anything?
Otherwise,
For clarification, there are donuts in the other room.
oh my god, that is so funny. If there's anything close with sprinkles, then yeah,
That's funny.
then we really need to celebrate. Okay. Someone just typed, is that Princess Maria again?
It was my dad's funeral yesterday.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Princess Maria, let's go in mediumship then. I did feel that I need to give you somewhat of a prophetic message first, and I feel that I need to tell you to be as authentic as you possibly can in this life. There is no need for you to live a second life. There is no need for you to not be your authentic self. People around you can handle the truth, and you've been very afraid to tell people how you feel. Okay, and I do feel that part of this crossing over and part of this transition is an awakening for you in many aspects, particularly your artistic and creative abilities, but even more so in your personality and the way you treat the people around you. Be very, very honest with them and be very, very honest with yourself. It will increase your energy and it will help you have more fun. In terms of your father's energy and the funeral, when I ask Spirit, I'm hearing he's not ready to talk yet, but he'll be making himself known in the next week. And I'm being shown Wednesday, and so it's Wednesday today, so I would say by next Wednesday, you should be able to have said that you felt him around, and he may come to you either tomorrow night or Friday morning, but I feel like it's going to be coincidences, like a bird tapping at the window and a watch not keeping time, and that will be the way he communicates, rather than you seeing an image of him talking to you in the window. And I do feel that that's simply because I'm being shown he's having his life reading, and so Spirit's keeping him back a little bit before he communicates. But there is a lot of love coming to you from the spirit world and a lot of reassurance that he is with two older people, which I presume are his mother and father, because I'm being told grandma and grandpa, and they both have very dark hair as well. Just to let you know they're all together.
And then Deanne has looking to connect with my friend Joanne.
Looking to connect with Joanne, okay. Oof, I'm not sure if I'm still with Princess or if I'm with Joanne. If you guys are watching, just let me know. I do feel someone had a heart attack out of those two, because I keep getting cramps in my chest while I'm connecting to that energy. Princess on this one. Okay. I have a very soft, loving, happy energy with Joanne, and I feel like this was a very sweet woman, and I do feel that she needs support towards the end of her life, and I do feel that she has been working hard to try and get your attention from the spirit world, but you're not letting the messages in. And she's showing me 1111, she's showing me a lot of number signs, and she's showing me that she's on your consciousness while you're traveling. So I don't know if you drive or if you tune in. You need to drive, but I'm feeling that she's working on strong memories of when the two of you were together, and that she's not giving up, because she said that you stick with the memory of her as she was passing, not the memories of how you lived. And she's saying, no, that's not what I want. I want you to remember me as we were, not as I was right at the end, okay? And she shows me her arms were very brittle, her bones were brittle, achiness. Realized what you still have to live for, and there are moments where you may want to be together again with Joanne more than you want to be here, and she's just smiling gently and saying, that's not your path. Please remember me as we were together, but also to know that she's going to bring you somewhat of a miracle in your relationships. So I'll leave that with you.
I guess back to Instagram.
Princess said he had a heart attack.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank
like
you. I did feel
clarification.
that.
So
Yeah, thank you, Princess. And I'm sorry for your loss, because that is always a tough one. You don't get a chance to say goodbye in those situations.
So we have on Instagram Mel Andre 911.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a message for him?
Okay, Mel Andre 911. I'm going to connect to you psychically first. If anyone wants a message from Spirit, please specify that when you ask. Otherwise, I'll tune in psychically and see where the energy goes. Okay. Oh, Mel, you've got such a strong logical left brain. You're so good with numbers, but you're waiting for your situation to change, and we have to take action to get the things we want. And I know you're going to get the success you're after in your career and with your finances. And you don't have to agree with me, but I would like you to consider what you can do from your perspective to drive that dream to you closer and sooner than it's scheduled. Because I feel like you're living a life that's almost your best life, and you're living alongside your best life but not actually living your best life. And it would be a very small thing that you would have to tweak, stepping into your confidence, being your best self, and just trusting that you're not going to fail. Because I don't feel you are going to fail, and I feel that you've got a lot to say. So I don't know if you're going to do like public speaking, or if you're going to be presenting something to a committee, but you keep checking your notes. And I have this image of you, and you keep rewriting what you want to say and rewriting what you want to submit. And I feel that it's ready. And I feel that there's no more waiting. I feel that you need to just move forward with this project that you want to do. So I'm going to leave that with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one on Facebook. Okay.
Fully.
Christian, is
Yeah,
that the
Christian.
name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, will Christian get better? I actually feel like this has been a long situation with Christian, and I need you to be aware with this that you're doing everything you can. It's important that you don't feel that there's something more. Is, will my son get better? And Philippe is asking about his son Christian. The first message that I'm receiving is that there's nothing that you need to be doing that you're not already doing, and that you will be guided by Spirit to take action whenever action is required. And I feel that your son is very, very happy and is not worried and concerned about the situation as you are, and that Spirit is urging you to share that happiness and that positivity, and to be a little bit more excited in the moments rather than being bleak about the future. I don't necessarily feel that Christian is going to, I just feel like things are going to keep going as they are. So it's not like Christian is going to be 100% unwell, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm worried about what's going to happen next. So what I will say to you is enjoy the day and think about the fact that if Christian's okay with the way things are, that you should be too. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you, and I hope that's helpful. But you do need another doctor. If you're taking him to a doctor or a specialist or a physician, get a better one, because whoever you're seeing now is not giving you all the information. Okay, I'll leave that with you.
Do we have other Facebook ones? Hazel, will I be financially stable to help my family?
Okay. Yes, you will be. I do feel you will be, and I feel that you're doing something with a business venture at the moment. And be very careful with the money as it comes in. But I feel like you've already set up a system where the money is there for them, and it's just this sort of ongoing maintenance of that system. Because of that, you will need to be the one that keeps making the money, but I feel like the money is going to keep spreading in a comfortable manner. And because you've been so responsible about setting this up, that yes, your family will be taken care of and you will be able to support them. I do feel that there are family members that are unwell, and that's part of the reason why you've been put in this position, and that there is a woman in the spirit world who's older, who's passed like she could be your grandmother, it feels like she's your grandmother, and that she has sent you her congratulations and her thanks for being able to take care of the family. Yeah. Okay. Will I ever find my soulmate, and when? Is that what it says?
I guess.
It's, this is like such a typical question that everyone's like, but it's so true.
Right.
It's the one thing that we all want to know. Will we find our soulmates, and when can they please hurry up and buy a ticket on the bus and knock on our door tomorrow because we're sick of waiting? So I feel we should address this, and your name is Kim Griffith?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kim, you're not married right now. You're not married, and you're meant to be married, and you were married. Okay, so you were in a situation that was either a legal marriage or like a marriage. The Spirit calls it a marriage, and I do believe that you will be married again, and I do believe that late next year there is a very strong, significant event in your love life, and that you have men around you, no good ones right now. And if you're a man, I could say no good women, because I don't want to assume, but there's no good partners around you right now, and so I want you to just let everything be. I do see a flirtation coming up in December, and if your partner is watching, then I'll just be honest, I feel that you need to keep looking. And I feel that there is love out there for you, and that the end of next year is very significant, and that January this year is also a very nice time for relationships with you. Be very patient. You're not going to be alone in this life. And I would say that at the very latest, the end of 2019, you'll have someone in your arms that you can be with that is a very loving, strong connection. Please be patient. Yes. It's so easy to give up on love.
Hi.
And just want to throw it all away. And we mustn't. We must just focus on our own journey and be positive, but keep putting the energy out there. Anything you want, keep putting the energy out there, because those are the moments when things happen. So yes, law of attraction, manifestation, but you have to keep going on dates, and you have to keep getting your life ready. It's one of the law of attraction things says it's hard to meet someone if you have a single bed and one favourite mug and one favourite chair,
right,
and no space in your life for someone else. And it's true. It's true. Get your place ready, create space in your wardrobe where they could hang their clothes, get 2 favourite mugs so you can have guests over, because that vibration will set the intention of allowing love into your life and welcoming relationships into your life.
What do you tell people if they're like, they know they're going to be with someone, but it's not happening in the situations? Like, if someone's like, I just know I'm going to be with that person, but maybe it doesn't happen, like, do you tell them to keep going, or do you tell them to give up?
Depends on the situation. Okay. So my personal advice is different from spiritual advice. So when spiritual advice comes through, it's never consistent, because no two situations are alike.
Right.
Every situation's unique, and in many of the cases, patience is very important. And in some cases, people have misinterpreted a situation to believe that if they wait and they hold on, that things will change, and they may be in a dynamic that's quite unhealthy, that's somewhat abusive, where the person is keeping them on the side for whenever they feel ready.
Right.
And that's very unhealthy. And so when I see that pattern, I just try to get the person I'm reading for to understand the dynamic. And I do, and they still say, well, I know that's true, but I'm fine with it. And I said, that's good. Okay, then just know that will be the dynamic until it changes. So sometimes it's just about making the person aware of the third perspective view of what is going on. And sometimes it's about giving them reassurance that, yes, this is your person, but they're going through a divorce or they're going through a massive change in their career and they don't have the scope to focus on relationships right now, but you must be patient. They are coming to you. And I've seen both of those and all the things in between.
Yeah, because I also believe like what's for you will not pass you.
That's true.
Like if it's something's meant to be in your life, it's gonna happen.
It'll keep knocking at your door for as long as it can, but you can keep pushing it away.
Yeah.
You can keep pushing it away. Eventually it does tend to wear one down and one realizes, oh yeah, that is the easy option. That is the life I should be living. And then it'll make sense.
How are we on time?
Do we have time for one more? Okay,
Yeah.
one more.
Do you want to do Instagram or Facebook?
I feel Instagram. I feel like we need to go to the gram.
Do you want to take off the phone and look at it? Would that help it?
It's fine.
Okay.
The top one.
It's still Princess.
Oh, okay. We've done Princess.
Do you want to go back to Joanna 1286? Her question is, can Spirit see if my youngest son will be okay?
Okay. I'll have a look, but first I need to tell Princess no more jewellery. So I don't know if you've been spending a lot of money on jewellery, but that comes from Dad. He's saying he doesn't want you to keep spending money. Will your youngest son be okay? And her name again?
Johanna 1286.
1286. Youngest son be okay. I keep hearing he's not in danger. Like he might not have checked in with you, but he's not in danger. He may be medically ill or unwell and treatment for that, but I keep hearing from Spirit that he's not in danger. So you need to know what the situation is yourself. Now I don't necessarily feel he's in a situation that's compromising his freedom. If I had to say, I would say I feel like he's unwell, and that's why I keep hearing medically ill. But he needs, if there's some kind of treatment, take the treatment because it makes more sense than waiting. And so I feel that you'll get a choice on whether to wait or to take action sooner. And I feel that the option to take action sooner will benefit the situation more than the option 2, which is to wait and see how it goes. So if you can take treatment or action sooner, do it even if you're over the top, because that will benefit. I'll leave that with you. There you go. I guess that's
Cool.
it.
What events and stuff do you have coming up? And if people want to get a hold of you, how would they reach you?
Sure. So I am teaching 2 classes in Manhattan. The next one is actually next week.
Fun.
So come and meditate and I'll help you improve your own psychic ability and discover your own intuition through a series of guided meditations. And that is on November 13th. It's a Tuesday night.
Okay.
And then I am teaching on December 11th on Tuesday night in Union Square.
Nice.
If you want to reach me, you can jump on my website, which is KaliseSimone.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, all those fun things. So my name is KaliseSimone.com. And you can just find me online. You can submit a request for a reading. You can email me, whatever you want to do.
And then you do all kinds of readings, like in person, Skype.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are. The majority of my clients get their readings on Skype because we're all over the world and we all travel a lot. So it's just the same as getting an in-person reading. You can choose in-person, you can choose Skype, you can choose psychic, you can choose mediumship. You can do an intuitive consultation if you have business decisions and just want me to weigh in on them. Everything is a perspective. I'm not a professional advisor, so I don't claim to be, and obviously we'll discuss that when you have your reading. But I travel around as well. I'll be in Colorado in January. I'll be in Australia around March. So keep an eye on my events page. Get my newsletter, then put your email and sign up for the newsletter. Yeah.
So anyways, thank you so much for being here today. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you guys later. I will eventually get this video up on YouTube. And thank you again to Wonderama for letting me use your space. And you guys have a great night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.